What's up, everyone? It's the Benchwarmers, and today we are reacting to an awesome NFC divisional round game between the 6 seed 49ers at Lambeau facing the number 1 seed Green Bay Packers. This was an awesome game, and it came down to the final seconds to determine who would win, and another 1 seed went down. So, what happened this game? Let's figure this out.
So I'm going to start by talking about the Packers' performance in this game. Overall, the offense really underperformed. I mean, after the first drive where they scored a touchdown, it looked like they knew what they were doing. They're used to this cold weather, so they should have this in the bag. But then the whole rest of the game, the offense just went completely missing, which was very surprising considering Aaron Rodgers is a very clutch playoff quarterback, at least with the exception of the NFC Championship itself. So overall, the offense was pretty bad, but shout out to Aaron Jones at least. He put in a great performance. He got 170 yards total, rushing and receiving, but it just wasn't enough for the Packers. On the other side, the defense was really great. They only allowed 2 field goals the whole game, and they didn't allow a single touchdown. So it might be surprising that they actually ended up losing this game. But the main reason for that was the special teams absolutely sucked. In the first half, they had a field goal blocked, which would have given them a huge 2 score lead. And it might have sealed the game for them at that point just because the 49ers couldn't get anything going on offense. And then in the second half, in the fourth quarter, actually, they had a punt blocked and returned for the 49ers' only touchdown. So, I mean, it was really just the special teams that let them down big time. So overall, it just seems like for Aaron Rodgers, the 49ers are really his kryptonite. He's faced them in the playoffs 4 times, and he's lost all 4 of those games, which is just really surprising. Um, and just something in the offseason has to be done about this terrible special teams because it wasn't just today. This whole season, the Packers have really struggled on special teams. And it seems like that's really the only problem because this is a very good team that should be a Super Bowl contender. And just the special teams, which is something a lot of fans don't even think about, is what really let them down today.
Now we talk about the Niners, both Rohan and my favorite teams to watch. We've been 49ers fans our entire life. And what to even say about this game? Did the Niners deserve to win this game? No. Did the Niners play a good game? No. Did the Niners make smart plays and was the coaching good? No. But are the Niners in the NFC Championship game? Yes, and that's honestly all I care about at this point. If you look at how each side of the ball played, you look at the defensive side. The defense was terrible out the gate in that first drive where Aaron Rodgers led a touchdown drive. The rushing defense was bad, the passing defense was bad, everything, and we were down 7-0 early. And after a 3-and-out, it looked like the game was going to be terrible. It was going to be a blowout, but no, the 49ers defense really prevailed. They had some clutch fumble recoveries. They nearly had a couple of picks, but they had some good defended plays on players such as Davante Adams, who only had 8 receptions. Considering it's Davante Adams, it's actually pretty solid. And Aaron Rodgers didn't have that bad of a game, but we held the Packers offense only 10 points. So that's something to definitely be happy about. However, on the offensive side, there's a lot more of questionable things which the offense was doing. The offense really only put up 2 field goals. There was no touchdowns. The rushing game, we averaged 3.7 yards per carry, which is not good considering that the Packers were ranked the 31st team in yards per carry against, and we still were only able to muster up 3.7. So that wasn't good. And it looked like in points of the game that the offense was really terrible. You look at Jimmy Garoppolo, he had a terrible game. He had only 11 completions the entire game. He took 4 sacks and he threw a pick in the red zone. And our leading receiver was George Kittle, who only had 4 receptions. But they performed when it counted. They had a field goal early in the second half, and the ultimate game-winning field goal. There was clutch play after play from players such as Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, and ultimately that led us to our second field goal from the offense, and that ultimately won us the game. They performed when it counted. If you look at the special teams, that is what won us the game. As Andy mentioned, we had a blocked field goal earlier, and we had a blocked punt in Packers territory, which was returned for a touchdown, and that literally swung the percentage chance of the Niners winning from around 20%, according to ESPN, to around 55%, and ultimately we were able to win because of that touchdown. So our special team played amazing, even though that they hadn't performed well throughout the entire season. They played quite well today. Overall, we're 4-0 versus Rodgers in the playoffs. At this point, I'm honestly glad that we took Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers so that we can just keep on beating Aaron Rodgers time after time again. And I guess a couple of other things about the game itself. There were opportunities to even score more points. We had 2 red zone opportunities which we fumbled. One was where we threw an interception in the red zone, and second was when Eli Mitchell had a face mask call in the red zone. So we literally could have won this game by 17 points, which was really optimistic looking forward into next week as we move on to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, and going forward for the 49ers, they can either face the Bucks or the Rams, but that's to be determined tomorrow. So I'll just analyze both of these situations. So starting off with the Bucks, this would be a really interesting matchup because Jimmy Garoppolo and Tom Brady were once teammates, with Jimmy Garoppolo being the backup to Tom Brady. And he actually won 2 Super Bowls under Tom Brady. So I guess he's technically Super Bowl champion, 3-time Super Bowl appearances. So I think Jimmy Garoppolo and Tom Brady definitely know each other's games. It's going to be interesting to see, who can adapt better and how the coaching strategy is prepared. But in terms of the overall teams, not just the quarterbacks, their last matchup was 2 seasons ago in week 1 of the 2019 season. And that was when Jameis Winston was at quarterback. It wasn't until next season that Tom Brady joined. But the 49ers did win 31-17. I guess this game doesn't really show much, but I guess it shows that the 49ers could match up well to the rest of the Buccaneers team. And also in terms of the Buccaneers team as a whole, I think their run defense and pass offense will definitely present a challenge to the 49ers, just because the 49ers are a very run-heavy offense. And also, they're just not that great in terms of the secondary. I guess their defense thrives in the D-line and the linebacker part. So it's going to be interesting to see how they match up against that. But one thing to note is that the Niners were really effective defensively against 2 top 10. Actually, the Cowboys were the number 1 offensive team, 2 top 10 offensive teams. And the 49ers were actually really able to shut them down, especially in the secondary and the D-line. They kept applying pressure to these amazing quarterbacks. And they're also able to get these really clutch defensive stops. Like just in this most recent Packers game, they're able to force a 3-and-out to get the ball back after scoring that touchdown, which is what ultimately enabled them to win that game. So I'm really excited to see how the 49ers defense will play against the Buccaneers. Now for against the Rams, I think I'm much more optimistic about this matchup just because of the history that the 49ers have with the Rams. Jimmy Garoppolo, being the guy he is 6-0 against the Rams. This point, it's not a coincidence. He's just good against the Rams, and the Rams are bad against the 49ers. Actually, just 2 weeks ago, they beat the Rams at the SoFi Stadium. I guess they really put the ice on the burn there. It was a really close game, but Jimmy Garoppolo prevailed. I think that's really telling of what may happen next week if the 49ers were to play the Rams. But I think one thing that Shanahan has to do is get more creative with plays. I think if he just keeps giving the ball to Debo and keep running the ball with Mitchell on almost every play, I think the Rams may figure us out. So I think it's interesting to see how he may incorporate guys like Kittle and Ayuk more into the offensive playbook. And I think if he does that and the 49ers diversify their plays, I think they can definitely destroy the Rams. So as a Niners fan, I think we should all root for LA tomorrow, and hopefully we can see a 49ers LA matchup, which will most likely result in a 49ers win, I hope. But yeah, it's going to be a really interesting game tomorrow, and I'm excited to see how the 49ers look going forward.
And that wraps it up for this video reacting to the Niners versus Packers game. We're all very excited that the Niners are moving on to their second NFC Championship game in 3 years. Remember to like and subscribe if you have not done so already. This is the Bench Warmers, and we're signing out. See ya.